Right, it's time for the tier list. We have taken some of the biggest name signings in the Premier League this season, and we're going to try and rank them from 10 to 1. Well, I'm not going to do it. Jonathan Morley, the Liverpool fan, and Nasty, the United fan, are going to try and work in collaboration and see can you come to some agreement and get the number one signing, or probably more entertaining, the worst signing. Yeah. So our 10 names, lads. We got Declan Rice, Moussa Diaby, Moises Caicedo, we got Cole Palmer, Alexis MacAllister, Szoboszlai, Gabriel, Mount, Hojlund and Maddison for Tottenham. Let's start at number 10. Jonathan, who do you think out of those 10 big name signings is coming in at the worst?
I think it has to be Mount.
I'm thinking Caicedo, and I understand Mount has been bad.
Yeah.
But I think Caicedo has made so many mistakes, and the only reason I would put him 10 is because Mount hasn't been on the pitch long enough to make those mistakes.
The only thing
That's my only debating factor there. Either of them at 10, really, I agree with.
The only thing is, like, obviously I haven't watched that much of Chelsea this season, how poor they've been, but Chelsea fans actually tell me Caicedo's been okay. So I'm not sure. Like, I mean, in our games against them, in Liverpool's games against them, against Chelsea, he hasn't been standout, but Chelsea fans tell me he's been okay.
Do we have to bring in the fact that he cost 150 million euro
versus
do you know what? 55?
Yeah, we'll go for Caicedo.
I think you have to stick him 10, really.
Just because the price tag, 10,
So, Caicedo, officially the worst signing of the season. Right, who are we going for next? Nasty, we'll let you kick off. Number 9.
I'd, agree with Mount as well. We'll stick him 9, be fair.
Yeah.
Does it upset you?
I mean,
did he come with big hopes coming from Chelsea? Because obviously Liverpool.
It was it was a huge shock signing, and not necessarily in a good way either. Like, it wasn't one that I felt we needed at the time, and I think that's proved over the course of the season. I am willing to give him a chance. Obviously he has missed a lot of games, and he has changed games. We've seen it didn't end up being a winner, but at the time against Brentford, scoring that goal, I think he's had some bright moments, but he definitely has a lot to prove.
I definitely think that Mount falls into the sort of Kai Havertz bracket, in that tacticos of the world think that if you don't understand why Mason Mount's good, you don't understand football, whereas we understand football with our eyes, and Mason Mount is not a good player. He's not good enough for United. He even came off the bench the other day. I was like, I actually forgot he was at the club. And United's midfield is one of the worst midfields in the league, and especially if you're looking at the top. And if you can't get into that, I know he's been injured, but if you can't get into that when you're fit, I think definitely the way forward is utilising him on the wing. Like, he recently, when we've used him there, he has looked significantly better. So I think just removing him from that midfield picture automatically makes our midfield better.
Yeah.
So
sorry, Mason, you're number 9. Right, we're moving on to number 8. Let's have a look who's still got in there. We got Diaby for Villa. We got Guardiola for Man City. Hojlund as well still in there. Jonathan, who are you going for?
I have 2 in mind. Josko Gvardiol and Moussa Diaby. I think have both been decent. Obviously, Gvardiol scored a great goal last night against Madrid. But I don't know, Gvardiol hasn't been great for City. He hasn't got that many minutes either in comparison to the other defenders. So I think I'd go Gvardiol at 8.
Yeah, I was thinking Diaby myself.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially taking the price into consideration there, I did expect a lot more. It is hard, obviously, when City sign a defender to stand out because their defence was already so solid.
Yeah.
So I think there is that into consideration. But
I think, was he like the World Cup tax? Because remember, he had such a good World Cup with Croatia last year, and he came in and everyone was like,
unbelievable World Cup.
And he's young as well. Like, I think he will be good. He has potential going forward. Of course, I think potentially we could see him as a mainstay in that City defence in the future. But City fans don't seem to be too happy with him. Probably happier now last night, but I think 8 is
I'm okay with him.
Guardiola. The only 2 things I would say about him is that he's a victim of the Man City situation, where they're not really playing centre backs. They're he's kind of been playing left back, and that's not really used to that. And Man City, when Pep signs players, generally they are in and out of the team for about a year and a half until they settle. So I would probably have gone with Diaby, but we'll stick Guardiola there.
Yeah.
At 7 then, are we going for Diaby for Villa?
We'll go Diaby.
Yeah.
Who's been good too. Good too, but
good start to the season. I think he scored in the opening.
He did really well to start the season. He hasn't been as good since, but whenever I've watched Villa, I've been impressed with him. I do think he's a nice baller. So
so moving on to number 6 then. It's getting a bit tight now. We have Cole Palmer, Rice. We have MacAllister, Szoboszlai, Hojlund and Maddison. Nasty. What do you
Number
reckon?
6. I think 6 here was made for Dominic Szoboszlai.
No.
I'm sticking him there.
No,
I'm looking at the names left on the list,
It's so harsh.
and I don't think anybody on that list has been worse than Szoboszlai.
It's so harsh, like.
I don't think he's a bad player. Before I start, I don't think at all.
Szoboszlai gets so much stick. He gets so much stick. Granted, he was unbelievable in the early parts of the season, and he had an injury, and then he came back from it, and he hasn't been as good. He hasn't hit those same heights that he did early on in the season, but he's been a great signing all the same. He's been excellent most of the time when he's been in that midfield. I think it's so harsh, especially when
I don't think he's been a great signing. I think he's been a good signing, and I think every name left on this list has been a good signing. But I don't put him in that great signing area.
Well, if you're not saying Szoboszlai, then who's going to be your number 6?
there is a certain Danish player.
You can see it coming.
Yes,
You can see it
there's
coming.
a certain Danish player who didn't score for over half the
respect it.
season.
But then, when he came to fruition,
Oh, he's
and-
good. I
and
like
he
him.
put
I
on
think
his
he's
shooting
good.
boots, in an absolutely dire side, as a United fan, I know just how bad we are. And to score the way he was scoring there for a period in that side.
5 in the Champions League.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
actually hardly played any
Aside from
Champions
that,
League games.
yeah, people don't even consider that. I do think, especially the age he is, he hadn't played that many professional games for Atlanta in general. I think it's been an okay first season for him.
I suppose the separator for this for me is that if you look at how United play without Hojlund and the way that Liverpool play without Szoboszlai, who's worse? It's United without Hojlund.
Absolutely.
That's the
I
one
think
argument
that's
I'd make.
because, and Nasty, I think you agree with me here. It's just you just have a complete lack of goal scorers.
Yeah,
You know?
100%.
Whereas he's a goal scorer.
We
simple
also
as that.
have a complete lack of providers, and the fact that he has,
And a complete lack of defenders.
lack of a manager.
Board members,
like a
CEOs.
goalkeeper.
Are you going to be able to agree on this one, or we have to put over to our producer,
I'm
Enda?
backing my boy. I'm backing Dom Szoboszlai.
I'd have to go.
I'm backing Szoboszlai. So I'm going.
Szoboszlai for 6.
I'm
yeah?
going. No, Hojlund 6. I'm backing Szoboszlai.
And we need an answer here: Hojlund or Szoboszlai?
I'm going to put Szoboszlai.
Like an arrow to his heart, Jonathan.
Genuinely.
Right.
That L, Morley, yeah.
Disrespect.
Right, moving on to number 5 then. I presume you're going to stick with Hojlund. Nasty, are you going to allow Hojlund in at 5, or can you pick anybody else from that list?
I
that you
think there's a
five?
case for James Maddison.
Fair.
James Maddison had an excellent start to the season, but we haven't seen those heights since. I do think he's been a good signing, maybe even a great signing, but over the course of the entire season, he hasn't kept up those levels. So I think there is a case. I'm still okay with going Hojlund. I think 5 is fair because, it's not as if he's in contention for top scorer or anything like that. So I'm okay with him at 5, yeah.
Rasmus for 5. Going on to 4, Jonathan. Who do we think? Left, we have some heavy hitters. Rice, Palmer. We got Alexis MacAllister and Maddison left.
Aye, we have to go for Maddison.
Yeah.
Who I think has been really good. Obviously, as Nasty mentioned there at the start of the season, absolutely set the world alight.
And they were challenging for a brief moment, they were challenging for the title.
Absolutely.
Then he got injured around November time, and it's been downhill. So his influence was massive at the start of the season. He probably would have been in contention for top sizing if he didn't get injured.
I think we'll see that a lot more as well in the coming years. Maddison's a top player. I think 4 is fair, but I think he's definitely one to watch out for over the next few years. He's going to get better.
I'm looking forward to our top 3 now because these are very difficult to place. You got Declan Rice signed for €105 million. You got Cole Palmer signed for €40 million. And bargain basement, you got Alexis MacAllister, €35 million. Nasty, who are you putting in there? Number 3.
It's extremely tough.
Yeah.
Extremely tough. I'm going to go with Cole Palmer. I think he's been excellent.
Yeah.
I don't have a bad thing to say about him. The only reason I'm not putting him top 2 is because, of course, I think he's second highest goal contributions in the debut season, only second to Hasselbank. So that's unbelievable. There have been a lot of penalties, obviously, which I feel maybe takes the shine off that a little bit. But yeah, nothing bad to say about him. I just don't feel he's been up there with the top 2.
I couldn't agree more.
Yep.
Spot on. Spot on. Palmer looks great. He's exceptional. He's had an exceptional first season at Chelsea, but I think 100% he's third there. Yeah.
Considering how bad Chelsea are.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. If they it's going to be interesting to see if they get a proper manager and some proper signings. and see how good Palmer could be in that team.
And only
Yeah,
40
it's brilliant.
million too.
Yeah.
For Chelsea, who are, notorious for overpaying.
Yeah, fair.
Exactly.
Right, we got Rice, we got MacAllister, and known by the name on the back of that jersey. I think I know who you're going to try and put at number 2. Jonathan, who is it?
Yeah, it's Rice. And to be fair, even as a huge Alexis MacAllister fan, I would have said Declan Rice about a month ago, but just how good Alexis MacAllister has been this season for Liverpool. But over the last month, when the performances have not been great, he's dug us out. Even that Sheffield United game a couple of weeks ago or last week. Yeah, he's been absolutely exceptional. And for the price, I think he should be unanimously the sign of the season.
Is it Liverpool bias? Or
I
do you agree?
don't want to agree with it, but I do. I think he's been unbelievable. I mean, just watching Liverpool, you don't like at the start of the season. If you told me you'll be watching Liverpool at the end of the season and Alexis MacAllister will be the standout player, obviously I would still say Van Dijk is probably the best player, but offensive wise, MacAllister is outperforming Salah most games, which is ridiculous. And at only 35 million as well. Rice has been excellent, and he's completely changed Arsenal's midfield. But I think taking the price point into consideration, you have to put MacAllister number 1.
So we have it. MacAllister signing off the season according to Jonathan Morley and Nasty.
Do you want the list?
Let's go for it.
Okay, 10 is Caicedo, 9 is Mount, 8 Guardiola, 7 Diaby, Szoboszlai number 6, Hojlund number 5, and then top 4 is Maddison number 4, Palmer at 3, Rice at 2, and MacAllister at 1. I do think MacAllister has been exceptional as well. Like,
he's been
I
unbelievable.
think watching him in the World Cup with Argentina, I thought he was a bit muck in the midfield. He didn't have that much control, but then watching him for Liverpool, seeing that he has so much more to his game than being a donkey, has been quite interesting. And he's still only 25. So
I think
that's why he looks so much older. He has like the head and shoulders of like a 29.
And we have him
30
sitting
year old.
right here as well.
I think Szoboszlai's 6 is still going to hurt you.
It is a bit, but I was really scared that we were going to fall out over Alexis MacAllister and Declan
As
Rice.
much as I'd love to sit here and make a case that he hasn't been a great signing, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah,
there we go. There's our top 10 signings of the season. If you liked what you've seen, make sure to subscribe below. Give us a comment. Tell us who your number 1 signing of the season is as well, and give us a like, and make sure to give the lads a follow. Jonathan is at Jonathan Morley LFC on TikTok and Jonathan Morley 97 on Instagram, and Nasty_2K across everything.